Hey guys, it's Bear with the Camping Camper. So a couple of years ago, I did a video on these Camco Curved Levelers, and the video came out kind of disjointed. I knew what I was trying to say, but I kind of sucked at making videos back then, to tell you the truth. Hopefully I'm a little better at it now. But today I was thinking about it. We're going to do a 2-year review on these Camco Levelers. I'm going to tell you how they've been holding up, how they work for me. And I really like them. I really think that they work great, and they've held up pretty well, except for one minor issue, which we'll talk about in just a minute. All right, so let's talk about the pros of the Camco Curved Levelers. They're easy to use. They're faster than using the Lego type blocks. They hold up well. And for everything that I've done, they work great. I'll say a couple of cons is they can sink in soft ground. You can set up these base mats under them that Camco has now. I'm not sure about that. I've never invested in those. And a lot of times if it's a gravel pad though, I do have to put my truck into 4-wheel drive just to get enough traction just to be able to back up on there, because sometimes the truck tire will slide a little bit. So when you use the curved leveler in conjunction with the level that you can see from the trunk, I got a video on one that I'll put up here. It's been great, and I'll put a link in the description down there for you for the levelers and the level that I use. But it's a great combination. I tried the electronic Bluetooth version on one of them, and it wasn't the Level Mate Pro. A lot of people have good reviews on that. The one that I used, I didn't have very good luck at. They were supposed to send me an upgraded version. That was 2 years ago, and I've still not got that back because they was blaming it on all the electronic shortages and stuff. But in essence, I never did a review on that because I wasn't happy with it. But I put the little level on the front of the trailer where I can see in the rearview mirror, and it's worked great. So essentially all you do with these is you put one under each tire on the one side that you're trying to raise up to make it level. So if it's your driver's side that's low, you're going to put these under the front and rear if you got tandem axles of your tires. These do seem to fit in between the tires better than some of the other brands that I've seen too, from what I've researched. But you put these under that driver's side, and then you put the truck in reverse, usually in 4-wheel drive, and you back up until you look at that level, and this thing just kind of tilts back, and it adds up to 4 inches right here. And so whenever you get where it says it's level, then you just get out and you put this chalk under the front of it, and that just helps support it, where that way it doesn't fall back down whenever you pull the truck out. Which also, does chalk the tire. This kind of cradles it from the bottom and chalks it kind of on the front and the back. And I've never had any issue with sliding or anything like that out of these chalks. I say that they work great. So what's the biggest problem I had? That's the issue that I was going to say in the beginning. I did have to replace one of these. Why? I don't know, because the thing weighs a couple of pounds, and I was in a hurry one time. I was at a tire shop dealing with some issues on my tires, and I just threw them in the back of the truck. Boom! Throw it in the back of the truck, headed to Florida, because I was going to the RV Village rally in 2019. And I got down there, and one of them was gone. I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. And I think it's too heavy to blow out. These are lighter. They were both still in the truck. But one of these was gone. So I think somebody must have just lifted it up out of the truck whenever I stopped for fuel or something, because I have no idea where it could have went. But all in all, I'm happy with it. There's a little bit of wear on the bottom. These things, I think this is the one that I've had for over 2 years. The other one I've had for about 2 years now. They get kind of wore out on the bottom, but this honeycomb shape seems to give it a lot of strength. There's no evidence of any cracks or anything like that in here, and it seems to be holding up very well. The chalk part is a little lighter duty, which is not taking as much of the weight, but it's still, there's no breaks or anything in that, and no issues with the plastic so far. It does have these little rubber pads on there that give it a little bit more grip to hold it together. But that's all you do. You back up till it's level, throw this under there, unhook the truck, and just go. Then whenever you get ready to leave, I know on the Anderson levelers, they say that you can just drive off of them. I've never tried that with these. I usually do back up a little bit to raise this up, and then I'll go pull these out. And then I've just got to where I'm pretty good at it by feel. At first it was kind of an issue, but I put the truck in like neutral or drive, and I just roll forward until I feel the camper level out and go about another inch, and usually I can just go back and grab this and ride out of there. If you pull forward too far, not far enough, this is going to be wedged under either the tire in front of it or the tire behind it. So guys, all in all, I'm still happy with this product. It's held up well. You know, I have a friend that recently switched from a travel trailer to a fifth wheel, and the spacing wasn't quite as much on his tires. He had the Anderson levelers, and I told him that they would probably work. You see videos where they say in the instructions you got to cut like the front of the Anderson off on one of them that goes like in between the tires to make it shorter. But he borrowed mine, took it over to his camper, said that it worked well, so apparently he ordered a set of these too. But you know, like I say, it's not let me down yet. The only time I ever have an issue is when I'm on like semi-soft ground, which I am here in northern Louisiana at a friend's house right now. So I do carry around the Lego style for whenever we're usually camping in the grass or somewhere where the curve leveler sinks in, where you need just a little bit more than the 4-inch lift that the curve leveler is going to give you. And so 95% of the time I use the curve levelers. And the rest of the time I do use the Lego style. And I did, you know, one of the things that I tried to show in my last video with that is when you use those Lego style levelers, there's not a real good way to chalk your tires unless you have like X chocks. And so I did actually, I've never used X chocks before, but I did invest in a couple of chocks that they connect to the Lego style levelers, and that just gives it a little bit more security for me that the trailer's not going to move anywhere. And so I've been more than happy with that for no more than I've used it. And they just kind of stay in the trailer right behind my generator, so I have easy access to them. You know, on the other side that you don't have the curve levelers, you do need some good chocks as well. And so for a long time I've used the plastic ones, but they were getting old. And I was at the Harbor Freight the other day, and I got some of these rubber ones. You know, they have the bigger ones, and I have that for a couple of my trailers, but they're just kind of heavy and bulky, and they're really overkill. I'm telling you right now, this little thing here, it's going to hold it way better than the plastic ones and be stronger for longer. And I will put a link down in the description for some Amazon affiliate links to some like this. I'm not sure if they're going to be the same price or a little bit more, but again, these come from Harbor Freight, and that's one of the things that I would say is definitely worth the money if you got a Harbor Freight near you and you want to stop by and get you some nice heavy-duty chocks for the camper. So guys, thanks for following us, and thanks for watching this week's video. Stay tuned, and we'll bring you another video next week.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.